Hi all, it's Karen and
Bluto!
here for Karen and Bluto's on the review channel, another movie review for you guys. This is one Bluto really likes. And actually, Bob and I did a discussion on this.
Cool.
So,
I'll have to watch that.
yeah, check that out. I don't know which will be posted first. I have to figure that out yet.
Who knows?
But what we're going to review with you guys is C.H.U.D. from 1984, rated R. It's 97 minutes.
And? Let's go.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. I'm ready.
Okay. So the movie kind of starts out, there's this lady walking her dog. She walks by a sewer manhole thing and something reaches up, grabs her, and pulls her and the dog in.
Okay, cool. Good way to start a movie.
Yeah. So we get to the next day and it's kind of
What was
little
that?
shots. My Wi-Fi is being weird, but we don't need Wi-Fi right now, so we're good.
It sounded like a doorbell, but I didn't think you had one.
Nope, we don't have a doorbell. Kind of just showing about, the next day, homeless wondering about.
What is that?
My computer being stupid.
Your computer's haunted.
Yeah. And there's some guy randomly taking pictures, which we find out later. This is one of our main characters, George.
Yeah, he's cool.
A photographer. He's actually taking the pictures from his apartment that him and his girlfriend just moved into. Girlfriend's name's Lauren.
Hey, what do I make a living? Take pictures from your apartment.
Yep.
Don't have to leave.
Yeah, so I guess George does the combination of a couple things. Like, I guess he takes some pictures for, like, some magazine, newspaper, as well as, like, modeling gig type pictures, because Lauren's a model.
She's hot.
She's,
I should be a model photographer.
She's going on some big campaign that can really launch her career, and George is going to take the pictures of this.
Oh.
So, cool. Kind of discussing that. Lauren's looking for her jewelry to put on for the shoot, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't bring that box up from the basement yet." And she gets sarcastic with him, like, "Oh, you bring up all your equipment and don't bring up my stuff."
It's like, bring up your own stuff.
So she goes down to the basement where I guess they have some of their stuff stored. There's this, like, hatch thing, and she hears...
Is it their own basement, or does it belong to the building?
It belongs to the building, but I know...
somebody steal it?
You would think. But I know some apartment buildings allow tenants to store in the basement.
I wouldn't.
So I think it's only her and George, and then that mother and son that she runs into in the building.
Yeah, there's 2 other people. That woman and a kid.
Yeah. So while Lauren's in the basement, she starts hearing all these weird noises and kind of just looks, and it's like, "Oh, I found my jewelry. I'm going back upstairs."
Yeah, probably rats.
So Derek keeps calling George. I guess Derek's works for the newspaper or something. He keeps telling George, like, "I need these pictures. I need these now." And George is trying to ignore him, but eventually answers the phone when Derek calls. He's trying to explain to Derek, he can't find the same people he shot before because they're homeless. They are on the move. That's the way this population is. And
let's go.
I lost my train of thought. So then we go to the police station. We meet one of our other main characters, Bosch, who...
He's a captain.
I forgot to write down what his capacity was. But
capacity.
He's been going on about, like, what his role is within the police department. He's going on, I guess, for a while, like, multiple people have been disappearing from this one section of the city that his precincts kind of oversees. And he keeps...
Okay.
I'm like, how do I want to explain this?
Good thing I saw the movie. You're confusing me.
Doesn't take much.
Let's go.
But Bosch calls one of the higher ups, and he's like, "You know what? We're getting more people are missing," and his higher ups like, "You just do what you need to do. That's it. We're not investigating these." So we cut back to George and Lauren. It's during this photo shoot. George kind of loses his shit about because Lauren's posing. She's nude, but she has a blanket over her, and he's kind of going on about, this perfume probably smells like shit. Like, there's all these people, there's these big execs there, and she's like, "You know what? You need to chill out. This could be a big deal for me."
Just thinking of money.
So George takes a break while she's getting touched up, and he goes to check his answering machine messages. He take some apparatus that triggers so he can check his messages.
How does that work?
I don't know. I knew back in the day, like I had a code I could enter from a phone to get my messages. But it's this one bag lady calling that I guess he took pictures of, and she's like, I need you to come bail me out. Well, what happened? I kind of skipped this part. Back to Bosch, they're talking. This bag lady was trying to steal one of the cops' guns. So she ended up in jail, and this was
She
one of
needs a gun.
yeah.
She needs a gat.
And this was one of the people George had taken a picture of, and I guess he gave her his card or whatever. So she called and she's like, I need you to come bail me out, basically. So George does go and bail her out, and then they go into the subway, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Um, a report basically comes through from somebody regarding a missing person. So Bosch goes to investigate it, and it's at this soup kitchen where this A.J. Shepherd is overseeing it, but I guess everybody calls him Reverend.
Yeah, he's cool.
And apparently, A.J. and Bosch have a past that's kind of established within this scene real quick. Apparently, A.J. used
Yep.
to get in trouble, and
They get to the point.
him and Bosch used to
Then you meet that cool guy.
know each other. So Bosch is like, well, what's going on? And AJ basically goes, my undergrounders, as they call them, are missing. And Bosch is like, what do you mean? So apparently within the homeless here, there are some that stay on the street, and then there's some that stay down in the sewers. And he's like, my regulars that stay in the sewer are missing. They're not here. They're here like, because I don't know how many meals a day he does or anything, but he has his regular crowd, and a lot of these undergrounders are not coming.
Maybe they moved.
So AJ says about talking to one of these other people named Val.
He's cool.
He used to live underground. He goes, maybe he knows something. And AJ kind of tells Bosch, watch it though with him because he's not altogether there.
Because he doesn't belong here.
So basically, Bosch goes and talks to Val, and Val's basically speaking a lot of nonsense. But he says about these creatures he's seeing, and Bosch like, okay,
You mean your friends?
Yeah, it was like kind
That's
of
kind of funny.
it was kind of like, okay, whatever. And Val also says they're all looking for weapons to protect themselves, hence why this bag lady was trying to steal the cop's gun. So we get back to George and the bag lady. They're getting down into the subway. Well, the police have put a trail on George and this bag lady, but the trail's like when he sees them going down in through the subway to get underneath, he's like, I'm out.
I guess it's stinky.
Yeah, he was just like, nope, not doing it. So they're discussing why she was taking the gun, and she's like, well, Victor said he needed a gun, so I was getting him a gun.
Yep.
And George is like, you're not making any sense, basically. He's like,
he said he wants one.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
They go down, they eventually get down underneath to where she stays. I'm not sure if this is both her brothers or just Victor's her brother, but there's
It's not important.
Hugo, who kind of is the muscle, I guess. He doesn't
like me
talk or anything, but when they show up, like Hugo, yeah, you don't know when to shut up. Victor is like going to attack George, and I don't know what the bag lady's name is. I don't remember. And she's like, no, Hugo, he's here to help. And here, Victor had a injury on his leg. It
that was cool.
Grotesque and everything, and
it was all bit up and chewed up. And
yeah, so they're trying. George was taking some pictures, but he was also trying to, help. And
Chud took a chump.
Well, I know too. They say about getting to the hospital, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to the hospital. No way, no how."
Nope. He probably doesn't have insurance.
We go back to Bosch and Shepherd, and they're discussing George's pictures, and I guess Bosch shows Shepherd these picture AJ, and he's saying who they are, and he's
Wet Bandit.
Yeah, that's what's funny with this as well. He was saying like, this is so and so, this is so and so. Yeah, they haven't been around and everything. And here in the middle of all this, it's disclosed that the lady in the beginning is Bosch's wife. So kind of his
That's why he has motivation.
investment in this has skyrocketed because his wife's missing now in that area with everything. So,
Your notes are confusing.
yeah. No, yeah.
You did it. I like that.
They were saying they're kind of talking a little bit too, and they're discussing about this EPA probe over the past 4 weeks. Because AJ is like he goes to the source, like he wants answers. He advocates for his people.
Yeah, he'll mess around.
And like he was like like reaching out to different agencies and everything. Discussing some stuff because they were saying about when this EPA probe goes on that they chase everybody out of the sewers.
They scare everybody.
So they can do whatever they need to do. And they were saying like I think Bosch says something about, oh, that probe was done like weeks ago. And Shepard's like, no, it's still ongoing. There's still, people down there. And I guess AJ had gone down in the sewers and starts pulling out like all of this stuff that he's located from this
funny.
probe. And a lot of it's like, I don't want to say hazmat because it's not quite that, but it's
what?
Hazmat gear.
What does that mean?
Like if they're dealing with certain things that could be deadly, but it's more involved in that.
Okay.
Get an education. So they end up, AJ and Bosch go down in the sewer so he can kind of show Bosch where he found some of the stuff, and they find, what's the name of that machine?
A Geiger counter.
And they,
jeez, I know that.
I remember. Well, you've seen this movie 150 million times, where I've seen it maybe 5.
150 million plus 1.
Okay.
The one was you.
Well, it's so funny. They turn it on and it reacts, and then it goes down, and then all of a sudden they hear this growling noise, and they're kind of looking like, what's going on?
Maybe it's an alligator.
So, it kind of cuts.
Your nose.
No, it's scratching my nose.
Oh.
So when we get a quick cut scene with George and Laura, because George had kind of walked out on the photo shoot when he got the call about bailing the bag lady out.
Yeah.
And one of the other messages on there was from Lauren's doctor, and here it turns out Lauren's pregnant.
Wow, she's naughty.
It's George's baby.
Maybe. They never really do say. So you never know.
They kind of assumed. So they're kind of discussing with everything with that. And then we have this other scene going on outside. There's a grandfather and a child walking, and they're lost because they got off at the wrong bus stop or something.
Lost in New York at night.
Not a good thing.
Well, there's nobody on the street.
No.
They were all alone.
So they go into a phone booth.
A phone booth.
While the grandfather's calling.
Those aren't around anymore.
Yeah, really. Calling whoever they're trying to get to, and all of a sudden the child sees one of the chuds come up from the sewer, and it takes her grandfather. Leaves her.
Nobody believes her.
Yeah, so then eventually the kids ends up at the police station, and
she's making up a story.
She's saying about a monster took her grandfather, and everyone's looking, and
everybody's laughing at her.
Poor
kid.
Bosch is like, where did this happen? And here it happened in the same district where people were missing.
Bosch believes her.
So Bosch starts like calling the shots. He's like, we're putting extra manpower out there, put an APB on my wife. She's missing. He just kind of starts taking control.
He's like, yeah, we're going to get this done.
He goes and demands a meeting with the higher ups. He goes and gets AJ and says, come on, bring your shit. We're going to find out what's going on.
Sorry.
I don't know technically what their roles are, but they're higher up than him. So they go looking for George because they want to get more pictures of his pictures off of him. Well, when they get to his apartment, he's not there.
So they just take him.
So Shepard basically breaks in, and Bosch is like, that's breaking and entering. But then he goes in, and they find what they're looking for and leave.
He's kind of a cool cop. He don't care.
Well, they see the pictures of Victor's leg as well, and they're like, what the hell is this? So they go have this meeting. It's with Bosch's supervisor, this guy Wilson, who's with the NRC or something. I wrote down.
You're not from the NRC. You're just a government garbage man.
That's later.
Oh, sorry.
But they're kind of discussing everything, and they're saying about the number of people missing, kind of going on. Kind of just they show them the picture. They're just trying to prove a point that there's something more going on than a mass influx of missing people. So we cut away to George and Lauren. Is that when they're in Central Park?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. They're kind of
You
talking
don't remember
about
that, do you?
I do. But they're kind of talking about what they're going to do, where they're going to live, and so on.
That's when
And
Murphy shows up.
yeah, and this is
Yeah, that's when
when,
it's in the park. Then they get into a cab.
yeah, this person who kind of popped up in a couple other parts of the movie, but
Murph,
Murphy, who's a
like on RoboCop,
freelance writer.
I guess.
And he was saying to George, I need your help. There's something bigger going on. You know these people. And he goes, did you know you had a tail on you the other day? And George is like, what are you talking about? Well, he keeps going on, and George and Laura like basically leave and go away. They're like, no, you're batshit crazy.
They don't say that.
Well, they kind of think he's not altogether there. So
No,
we
nobody
get
there is.
so we get back to the meeting because, like I said, there's a lot of jumping back and forth here.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Wilson says about, or I don't know if it's Wilson or somebody else says about there's radioactive material that was being stored underground because they were in the process of moving it, but then there was some red tape, paperwork hold up or something, so they were just keeping this radioactive material there.
It's stuck there. They can't leave it.
Well,
They can't
they
transport it.
didn't at that point. They couldn't. So then we cut back to George realizing his pictures are missing, so he calls Murphy. He's like, "Meet me here. I'll take you down. We'll get the story, but I want my pictures back." Well, meanwhile, Murphy has no clue what he's talking about because he didn't take the
Nope, the police
pictures.
have his pictures.
Basically, then we get back to the meeting. It's getting more escalated, more heated. AJ, is it AJ that takes Wilson's briefcase and throws it?
Yeah, I don't think the
And
cop would do that.
then there was like all these files, and there's one on top that says C.H.U.D on it.
Title drop.
Hint, hint. So basically, AJ's like, screw you. I'm taking this stuff. I'm going to the media. So he takes all his stuff and leaves while Wilson calls somebody to track
Yeah, dude's kind of funny.
Shepard, AJ. Well, here when Bosch goes to pick it up, there's a file sitting on top that has C.H.U.D on it.
Yep.
And he's like, what is this? And that's when it comes up with they said it's the cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Yep.
And he's kind of explaining what's going on. Well, in the middle of all this, the phone rings and Wilson gets a call that they found one of these chuds dead. So all go and look. They all get suited up and go in. They're like, here there was some gas leak or gas explosion or something, and the gas apparently killed this chud. And they're like, well, you can tell it was a human because they were going on about stuff. You said it wasn't fully
It didn't look like it.
transformed. I thought it was.
I don't know. Leave a comment if you know.
But I mean, I just know they make a comment. They're like, look, it has clothes on or
It didn't
something
look
else.
like it did at the end. Whenever they're all like mutated
Yeah.
with glowing eyes.
So, anyways, Wilson's like, okay, we're going to take care of this. We're going to send people down. Well, Bosch is trying to take over. He goes, no, we need flamethrowers down there. We need to burn these
That's right.
MFers.
You don't say that.
He'll say that, but that's basically.
Jeez.
So Wilson's basically like, I'm in charge. You got to follow what I do. So him and Bosch continue to butt heads. Well, they send, really?
Sorry.
They send a crew
I just
down,
had
and
some coffee.
here there is already cops down there with flamethrowers. Well, they end up getting.
Yours has a camera. Mine has a flamethrower. I got like.
They end up getting attacked and
They'll
killed,
put on a shirt.
basically.
Basically.
So George and Murphy meet up, and George is saying, "Where are my pictures?" And Murphy's like, "I have no clue what you're talking about." So they end up going down into the sewer to try to find out what's going on.
Yep.
Somehow he finds out in the middle of all this, the police have the pictures, and I can't remember. I just have that written down. Bosch follows up with Shepard to update. Okay, this is what went down.
Keep an eye on that flame.
And Bosch, oh my God, AJ's like, well, I gotta make food, and he finds out they're gonna gas the tunnels to try to kill these things. So
gas will drive those things up here.
And that's what everyone's saying. And Shepard's like, okay, whatever. I have a meal to cook. So the gas goes out when he's cooking. So he goes to check what's going on. He has to go outside. I don't know if he's in a church or what building he's in. But he goes outside to go down into the basement. Val's hanging out down there, and he tells Val, he goes, you need to get to safety. This is what they're doing. So Val goes to leave.
He didn't get the safety.
And here, the guy that was tracking Shepard basically kills Val because he knocks him and breaks his neck or something. I don't know
Oh
what
my
he
God.
does, but he does kill him. And then
Yep.
he locks Shepard down below there. They can't get out.
Very good.
So Shepard has to go through the sewer to try to figure out how to get above ground.
And what does he run into?
He sees the Chuds worshipping a pile of toxic waste.
Yeah.
Which
Chuds are cool.
that part's actually kind of cool because it's kind of like they're standing there like, oh, like this stuff is awesome.
Ooh. Ooh.
So,
Ooh. You're funny. Yeah, and then he makes a noise.
oh, okay. Then we get
Then
back.
the one hears him, and
Yeah,
then
and
chases him
it's
out
all
of
it
there.
chases him out of there.
And then we get to the chick in the shower.
Not yet.
Right? Oh, okay.
Not what I have. We go back to
Well, you're
Murphy
dragging
and
this out.
George walking through the tunnel. Murphy has a gun he pulled out at one point. Well, here he's trying to take him back the way he knew to go to get to those underground people that he was working with earlier, that bag lady and all that.
And then what?
Well, Chud reaches out, grabs Murphy, and kills
Chud
him.
reaches out.
Chud reaches out. He wanted to reach out and touch someone. So George gets the gun, and he's like, he tries to help Murphy, but he realizes it's a lost cause, and he takes off the other way.
Eh,
So,
you're on your own, buddy.
what I have in here, I jumped ahead about the part with Shepard finding them. Then we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back to, we get Lauren, who's back in the basement looking up stuff.
And then
There's
she
that
finds
doorway there. She drops something down there, so she climbs down. Well, then she finds the mangled doggy from earlier in the movie.
she finds Scruffy or whatever his name is.
Yeah, poor puppy. So she kind of gets freaked out, runs back upstairs.
Chuds don't eat dogs.
Yeah, apparently
They just
not.
hang them.
And they don't eat heads either. But I'm just saying because of the heads that are found in the movie.
Oh,
She goes upstairs,
never thought
calls
about
the
it.
police, says there's like some mangled dog, and she just wants somebody to come and investigate
Yeah, it takes
it.
them long enough to get there.
So we do cut away to Bosch and a couple other cops that were called about a head being found, and here it's Bosch's wife.
Yep.
Which
That's
everyone's
kind of
like,
when he flips out.
that's kind of when he loses it a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Because they start yelling, "Get him out of here! It's his what?" You know, because it's like you don't need to be seeing this.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna make one.
Well, then we cut back to the apartment building. The Chud starts coming up from the basement while Lauren's in the shower. That's a whole fiasco because she's,
I like that part.
yeah. Would she get blood sprayed on her? Or
Yeah, I thought you were talking
yeah,
about
I
that.
couldn't remember, but it's
You
like
don't remember?
I couldn't remember if it was blood or like sewage stuff. But there was all.
It was red. I guess it was blood.
I forgot.
Sewage stuff would be green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we cut away to the scene where John Goodman is playing a police officer. I thought he was an EMT. You said he was an
I don't
officer.
know. I
thought I saw a stethoscope around the neck, but
I don't know.
anyways, they're at this diner.
Leave a comment if he's a cop or an EMT.
They're at this diner. And it's just a little cutaway scene.
Yeah, but it's cool.
And eventually, the Chuds end up coming up and attacking everybody in the diner while these two homeless guys are sitting outside. Take off, like I'm out of here.
So would I. Bye. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Come on.
Then there's
Let's go. Let's get to the
there's
good
a
stuff.
part 2 where Wilson's demanding all the manholes get covered up that anybody can escape from because they're gassing to try to kill these things.
Yeah, and they put trucks on the manholes.
And
then they're down there.
Yeah, then George is still trying to escape.
George.
He finds, I can't read that.
He finds the 2 bums.
Oh, he finds Victor because he gets back to where they're at. Hugo is half eaten, and Victor is turning into one of these Chuds from being bit.
Yeah.
So he shoots Victor.
Oh, yeah, his brother. Because remember, she says, you killed my brother.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know where Hugo fell into that.
And then AJ shows up. And they're like, thank God they deliver.
Yeah, because he ends up knocking. We don't know if he knocks her out or just knocks her out of the way. So George and AJ are trying to escape now.
And that's when they come across the guys with the flamethrowers.
Yeah, later, because
when
they're going through. Then Bosch eventually shows up where Wilson's like gathered all these people around the diner, like saying about blocking things off. The news reports are wanting comments, so they're trying to ease everybody.
Then what happens?
I'm trying to look and see.
Wow.
Bosch basically is blaming Wilson, so they end up like, you need to go. You can't be here. You need to go.
Okay.
Lauren was going to go
Yeah.
down to shut the basement way and
I like that
hear the
part.
C.H.U.Ds in the hallway, so she barricades herself
I thought it was
in.
coming up the steps.
Oh, maybe that's when it was coming up the steps. So she barricades herself in the apartment. It kind of jumps back and forth
Yeah, but it's
here.
cool. And then what does she do it?
Eventually, the police show up at the apartment, but they're attacked.
Yep.
We go back to George and Shepard. They have found where this toxic waste has been, and it's actually been stored down there for years. This hasn't
Yep.
been a one and done type
And
deal.
what does C.H.U.D stand for?
I
Don't look.
wrote it down, but I can't find it. Shit. Oh, containment, hazard,
No.
urban disposal.
Say it again.
Containment, hazard, urban disposal.
Close enough.
What was it?
Contamination,
Oh,
hazard, urban
so
disposal.
it's not cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Well, it could be that. They're both right.
Yeah. So eventually they do find the flame throwing and camera crew. They get the camera. They're able to connect with Bosch. They fill Bosch in what's going on. Bosch tells them where to go so he can get him out of there.
And he saves them.
The C.H.U.D breaks into Lauren's
This
apartment.
part I like.
She holds her own with this thing. I mean,
She what?
holds her own.
Oh, I didn't understand.
Because she's like trying to hide from it. She throws something with the film development
You wouldn't think
liquid.
that would hurt him.
Yeah, she like throws that in his eyes, but it doesn't do anything. And then eventually she grabs the sword from somewhere and cuts the damn thing head
Yeah,
off.
she had a sword display. You see at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay. So then she leaves the apartment, takes the cop car to go, I guess, go and try and find George. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Why else would she leave?
Um,
Well, you were like doing that.
yeah. Here, Bosch tries to find out which car's over this manhole that they're trying to escape.
Yeah, who has the keys?
He goes to get the keys. Wilson shows up and they go off to the side and Bosch is like, "You're not from the NRC. You're just," and here Wilson's just basically the cleanup guy to keep
Yep.
things from getting out.
He's a government garbage man.
And that this whole big thing is a
And he
cover
punches
up.
him.
And he threatens Bosch. Well, Bosch punches him and takes off.
Takes the keys.
Takes the keys, goes, gets to the where AJ and George are coming up. Well,
Very good.
not Bosch, Wilson shoots Bosch.
Yep.
But he had already moved the car, so George and AJ come up. Well, Wilson tries to run him over. Meanwhile, Lauren shows up, yells. They get out of the way. Wilson turns around. AJ grabs Bosch's gun,
Very good.
shoots Wilson in the
Yep.
heart that he dies. Well, then the vehicle he's driving crashes into the manhole and explodes.
That was cool.
And Bosch tells AJ, "Nice shooting."
He says, "Nice shot.
Nice shot.
Get
nice
it
shooting.
right."
And then Lauren and George are hugging, and
Aw.
that's it.
And then the cop in the air got hugged.
No,
And
he's just kind of laying on the ground, like,
it doesn't end stupid.
yeah. So
The monster doesn't show up and go, bruh.
So we don't really know. Did they rescue New York City? Did they fail? Did they get all the
Oh, they failed.
C.H.U.Ds? We don't know. It just ends.
Nope, because the toxic waste is still there.
Yeah.
So there'll always be C.H.U.Ds. There's probably C.H.U.Ds right now.
But they gassed the sewer. So did they gas them all?
That's a lot of gas.
Oh, I think you make plenty of gas at times.
My gas could kill C.H.U.Ds.
Anyways, like I said,
Good
this
movie.
movie is a good movie. It has
Watch it.
rewatch value.
Definitely.
A lot of story with it, but the story
I watched this a lot.
kind of keeps you in. It keeps me in it anyways.
I'm surprised.
It's not an overwhelming amount of characters because you kind of have that main
You like 'em.
group with some of the other
You like them too.
filling in here and there. So that is it for this review.
Yep.
Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you know when I post new content. You going to hit the bell?
No, because you make me look stupid.
No, you do that on your own.
Yeah, so I don't need more help with it.
Share our channel would be greatly appreciated. Subscribers and watchers, thank
I
you.
want to get you a bell.
I appreciate all of you. Keep coming back for more. Check out my other channel, K-Doll Games, Toys and More.
Whatever it's called.
I'm having issues remembering things today.
It's too long.
Toy and game reviews over there. Check that out.
And more.
Amazon wish list is posted. So if you want to help
Yep.
us out, actually, I probably should need to put more stuff on there.
Yep.
If there's something you want us to review, let us know in the comments.
Yep.
If we don't have it and you're willing to get it, that would be great as well.
Yep.
I think that's it. I'll see you next one. Bye.
Bye.